Just want to make sure our friends with the media are ready. You guys good?
We have masks on. I know.
Well, good morning, everyone. Today I am joined with nearly the entire City Council. We have Councilmember Fry, Councilmember Bluebog, Councilmember Tuttle, Councilmember Johnson, and of course our Vice Mayor Claycomb, and also with our Police Chief, Chief Ramsay, who will be making some remarks after mine, and then we will hear from Councilmember Johnson. So with the horrific murder of George Floyd and the subsequent marches, protests, and rallies that we are seeing across the country and here in Wichita, we have demanded and we have received demands and have rigorously reviewed our policing protocols and practices to assure that we are providing equitable community, public safety, and law enforcement for all Wichitans. Multiple community organizations have presented us with a list of grievances and demands about Wichita Police Department and how we conduct ourselves. So today, Chief Ramsay will be presenting the city's response to many of those demands. I want to be clear, this is a first step. The council, Chief Ramsay, and I are united in honoring the wishes of these groups and to make sure that their feedback, demands, and specific policy issues are spoken to. However, I want to be clear that we are not necessarily, as a council, in full agreement with every response. Some of us have concerns that we want to address in conversations with the community to continue to change, enhance, and improve our relationships among the city, police departments, and with our community. So our goal is to begin with more dialogue, action, and most importantly, with more listening. This morning, we sent the response documents you have to community organizations and have requested we immediately schedule regular quarterly meetings to discuss ongoing concerns and to measure our progress. This response will also be forwarded to the Mayor's Advisory Council on Diversity, Inclusion, and Civil Rights for review. That council will be meeting next week so that they will have a full week to review this document of our first step of policy responses in hopes that we can continue this dialogue and continue to improve our policies for all Wichitans. So this document is not the end of a process, it is the beginning of a process. But also it is important to note that I am proud that our police chief, our police department, our city council, we all are at the table, willing to work with the community to ensure that we are providing the best service possible. So I appreciate the work of staff, of taking the time to prepare this first draft of our policy reviews, and for all the work that they've put into this. So with that, I'd like to invite Chief Ramsay to offer some words about the response.
Good morning. As the mayor said, we are very proud of the progress that we've been making with the community and building bridges as a police department. But we also recognize that our job is far from done and that we still have a lot of work to do. We recognize the demands for changes to policies from the community, and we're proud to say that we have been making changes and have been working on them for a number of years. And the first item that I want to talk about really is the defunding of police. And for us, what it means is a lot of what we've been saying for a number of years. That is the social ills, the gaps in services that exist in communities around issues of mental health and homelessness, housing issues, are many of the items, the issues in our community that we're dealing with. Our police officers are frequently and more dealing with mental health issues in our community and homelessness, to the point where we've built teams of officers to help address these issues. The Homeless Outreach Team, ICT-1 for mental health, the housing work that we do to try and get people stabilized and into housing. The effort we've made to bring social workers into the mix inside the department. Since 2016, we've been applying for grants to bring social workers into the PD. So of those demands that we received from the community, which were, number about 12 or so, Many of these we've been working on. Test all outstanding rape kits. By the end of 2018, we had done that, and we've put policies and practices in place so that will never happen again. The implementation of a de-escalation policy. That has been in the work for a number of years, and our training for officers to de-escalate. The exhaust all other means before shootings. I remember when I was interviewing for the job here, I talked about the needs for time, distance, and communication, and that's what we've been working on since my arrival. The use of adopting the force continuum. We have that and have used that for a number of years as well. The banning of no-knock warrants, the concerns over qualified immunity. In some of the cases, we completely agree, and we've already changed some of the policies to match. Some we're still working on. We continue to have the ongoing conversations with our community, and we meet weekly with different community groups to go over de-escalation and duty to intervene. And we're also codifying a lot of our practices and training that we've been doing for a number of years, putting that into policy. There are some demands that we don't agree with totally, and a couple of those are, the no-knock warrants. There are still some cases, such as violent crimes, where a no-knock warrant may be necessary. The Civilian Review Board with subpoena power. We believe our review board is correctly chartered to provide effective oversight of the police department. But let me reiterate, what the mayor said. We don't view the document that you have before you today as an end of this process, but rather a continuation of the ongoing dialogue. We are proud of the many accomplishments that we've made through the years, whether it be full implementation of body cameras, our strong partnerships with community groups to reduce crime, such as See Something, Say Something, the Hispanic and Latino Chiefs Advisory Board, our efforts to reduce incarceration of youth. The list goes on, and actually you can find the full response online as well at wichita.gov/WPD. That's all I'm going to say at this point. I'm going to introduce Councilor Johnson and let him take it from here.
Thanks, Chief. First, thank you all. I want to commend the work of Chief Ramsay to swiftly address the concerns that have been outlined, as well as our city manager and city council. One of the main things we wanted to make sure of is that we not only condemned the murder of George Floyd, but we responded in action. And that's what this council did. This council went to several rallies, protests, both as a group and individually. And the goal was to listen so that we could come with this first step as a response. So as he said, we're definitely not finished. This is just one first step, and it's crucial that this continues through the regular meetings and conversations and that we evolve. Again, we're reaching out to organizations to continue to have those dialogues. We continue to receive grievances and concerns from organizations, and we will continue to respond accordingly. So I just want to encourage the community to join myself and Chief Ramsay today at 4 o'clock. We're going to have a Facebook Live on the City of Wichita Facebook page to continue to discuss what we've released today. We'll be answering questions from the community and continuing the dialogue that we've just started. In the meantime, we also want to encourage everyone to review the proposed changes that we put out, and they can be found at wichita.gov/WPD. And with that, we will stand for questions.
Questions? Seeing none, again, 4 o'clock today on our Facebook Live, we have Councilmember Johnson and Chief Ramsay willing to take questions from the community as they arise. If there's any questions or follow-up from the press, please reach out to us. We have to be accommodating as always. So with that, thank you.